We're being joined by foreign policy analyst Bolu Michael-Biyi. He's a Mandela Washington Fellow and former legal advisor to the African Union. He joins us from the London City in the United Kingdom. Bolu, thank you very much for your time. What's your assessment of the effectiveness of the international community's efforts in facilitating a de-escalation and a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas in response to the call from Nigeria's federal government?
Yeah, this issue between Israeli state and Palestine has been ongoing for a very long time. And it's very important for the international community to do more in ensuring that there's a de-escalation of the issue between the two regions. And this can be assessed in two ways. First is the reduction of armed conflict between them. And secondly, of course, will be the resumption of talks on negotiations between Israel and Palestine. So yeah, the international community needs to do more in supporting humanitarian efforts in the region, as well as advocating for negotiation between the two of them.
Bolu, in your view, what role can the African Union play in fostering long-term peace and stability between Israel and the Palestinians in the Israeli-Gaza conflict in particular, seeing as it has taken, or that it has taken a stand on Israel's status?
Yeah, the African Union, in essence, wouldn't do more than they would handle a case, a situation had it been on African soil. But what the African Union can do is to leverage its influence, its diplomatic influence, to foster peace within the region. Another thing would be to, of course, humanitarian efforts, taking place in the regions, as well as advocating for negotiations between them. The African Union has taken a position. However, it's also very important to support humanitarian efforts and also call for negotiation and ceasefire, because for lasting peace to take place in the region is heavily dependent on both parties agreeing to the ceasefire. The ceasefire, sometimes they have the ceasefire agreement and they breach it. Their commitments to their ceasefire agreement is key in fostering lasting peace between the two countries.
And considering the complexities of the Israeli-Gaza situation, what strategies or interventions do you believe are crucial for sustainable peace and sustainable development going forward?
Well, basically, it's to look at the root cause, start everything to look at the root cause of the conflict, recognizing the historical differences between the two states, as well as, just looking at the sensitivities, the political sensitivities that their story triggers in developing interventions. So looking at the root cause of the issue and tackling everything from the root, from the source, would be, a way to channel efforts towards a lasting peace. Looking at the root cause in social innovation, we call it a system change, tackling issues from the root. So looking at the root cause, considering the root cause and recognizing their differences and their story would be the way forward.
And how, in your opinion, do we respond to the humanitarian challenges of quite a number of injured persons and casualties resulting from this conflict? What is the chance that the peace-building efforts will not be derailed?
Well, the humanitarian crisis is definitely there will be concerns of spillovers in terms of arms proliferation, as well as migration, and of course aid. And how does that affect Africa? A lot of African countries are heavily reliant on aid, and when there's a focus, when there's a humanitarian crisis, there's a tendency that the aid will now be channeled towards the Middle East as against Africa. So there's a chance that things might spill over, but in order to avoid a situation whereby there's a spillover, then it's important for African countries and multilateral organizations to advocate for lasting peace and negotiations and call for ceasefire within the region.
Right. Thank you very much for your analysis and, of course, for your time, Bolu Michael-Biyi.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.